So it's no secret we're definitely at the end of the Switch's life, and I find it funny that I'm still trying to find the best grip slash controller for my Switch OLED. I've tried several different controllers and grips, and don't get me wrong, a lot of the controllers did the job, but for some reason I like trying all these controllers and grips. It feeds my addiction. Well, this controller company, QRD Gaming, hit me up and wanted me to check out their Joy-Cons called the Stellar T5 wireless Joy-Con. So I said, why not? Send them over. This video isn't sponsored, so I'll give you guys my full review with positives and negatives about the controller. Upon first inspection of the controller, it reminded me of the Hori Split Pad Pros and the Bimbot controllers I've seen on the internet. But these feel very premium, and the grip just feels right on the hands. They nailed the design of the controller. I love the look of them, but I also do love transparent black peripherals, so I may be a little biased. One thing I wanted to point out that is a must nowadays is this has Hall effect thumbsticks, which should be industry standards now, so we never have to deal with that pesky stick drift. So this controller gets a positive for sure with this. Here's another thing I liked about the controller, that it's actually wireless. I mean, it is in the name, duh. But with the Hori split pads, I can't play with them docked or tabletop. But with the Stellar controllers, I can do both of them, which is super dope because I love the grip of this controller, and I also loved Hori split pads grip. But these ones, I can take them off the Switch and still be able to use them. This controller comes with turbo mode for you turbo enthusiasts, and programmable buttons on the back of the controller, which I've never really needed the use for, but it's a cool feature to have on a controller for sure. The crazy thing is this controller actually has gyro controls, and I find this really cool because a lot of these third-party controllers don't even put the effort into adding gyro controls, and the gyro feels smooth. It doesn't feel out of place, or it doesn't feel like it doesn't work properly. This is a clean add-on for sure. The material on the back of the controller is like a rubbery grip, which makes the controller feel even more premium. Is another thing I actually really like about the controller. Did I also mention that this controller has RGB for you real gamers out there? You can change the color by holding the turbo button and pushing down on the thumbstick. You can also swap the D-pad for a circular-like D-pad or your traditional D-pad, which is perfect for me when I'm playing 2D platformers and fighting games. I also forgot to show the controller comes with a detachable rail for docked and tabletop mode, which comes in handy. Now let's talk about the buttons. The A, B, X, and Y buttons have a mouse clicky button, which I absolutely love. And the D-pad and plus and minus buttons have really strong clicky sounds. And lastly, the trigger buttons have mouse click presses as well, but here comes the first problem with this controller. For the L and R triggers, having mouse click buttons feel right, but when it comes to the ZR and ZL buttons, they are way too sensitive, and I find myself pressing those buttons on accident a lot. They are very sensitive, but they're really cool to press, but sometimes you'd press them by accident. It's not a major problem, but that's one of the negatives I have on this controller. And I'm gonna be honest, the negatives I have for this controller aren't really major. They're just little problems like the charging. This thing doesn't charge while you have them connected to the Switch like regular Joy-Cons do. But you can charge these guys separately with USB-C on the bottom of both controllers. It's just a little inconvenient and time consuming if both Joy-Cons are dead after a heavy grind sesh. And my last problem is the actual attachment to the controller. It feels a little wobbly while connected to the Switch, but I don't know if that's on my end or it's the actual controller because my Hori split pads do the same thing. So it could just be my Switch, I'm not 100% sure. Those are all the negatives I have about the controller. As you can see, the positives outweigh the negatives. It's really decent, packed with a lot of features for less than 60 bucks. It's definitely a bang for your buck. If you want to grab one, I'll link it down below. Thanks to QRD Gaming for sending out this controller. It's a really cool controller to add to my arsenal. Put down in the comments what else I should check out for my Switch. I'll see you in the next video. Peace!